So here I am walking into this house, and Lucy comes over and she takes my hand and she shows me all around the house. And then she has me sit down and she shows me her magazines and she starts showing me her toys. And I'm thinking, this is really interesting. And then Maury Timlin has all these huge exotic parrots, including a gray African parrot. And Lucy starts to show me the birds, and there's this African parrot that doesn't like her. And it's saying terrible things to her, so she picks up something and throws it at the parrot. And I'm like, I don't think you should do that, Lucy. The parrot's all mad. I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing here, you know. So then she takes me over and she sits me down and she has all these objects that she likes, and she kind of has them in like a nest-like area about her, and I'm looking at all of them. And then she picks up this one that's a little human doll, rubber plastic doll about this big, all one piece, molded in all one piece. And she's carrying it around all the time like her baby in her what we call the groin pocket. And she puts it on her back and she puts it down here and she carries it all around. And I'm just watching her, not really knowing what to do. And then she comes over and she takes the baby out and she shows the baby to me. And my interpretation is she's offering me the baby. I'm a human. I think this is a giving gesture. Little did I know, it was a showing gesture. I'm not giving you the baby, I'm showing you the baby. Later on I learned what the difference between those two gestures is. But anyway, because the chimp's anatomy is a little different and how they give things is different than. So I reached out to take the baby and boom! Like, you don't take my baby. I looked and there were these huge teeth marks and it was already blue on my arm. But there was no blood, so I thought, well, I'm okay. So I continued to work with Lucy. She might have bit me like that once or twice more. I learned it was a no. It wasn't an attack. It was a communication. And soon I was able to go outdoors, just like I'd take Lucy outside this house. There were other houses around. And Lucy was very large, and we would go out and walk in the yard. We would go for rides in my MG Sprite. I had no collar on her. Sometimes kids would play not far away, and she would look at them like she really wanted to go over there and play, and I would have to say, no, you're not allowed to. And she would stay with me. I used nothing other than language.
You were speaking.
Did
she vocalize too?
She was mostly silent, but sometimes she would vocalize, but she was mostly silent. And one day I came, and she went over to the back of my car. She didn't want to go anywhere, and she was like pushing up and down on my trunk, and my whole little car was going kabong, kabong, because she's so strong. My car is going up and down, up and down. I'm like, Lucy is trying to tear up my car. Why would she tear up my car? This makes no sense. She's always ridden in the car. She's being really good. She's tearing up my car. So I thought, well, I can't understand this. So I went over. She just kept doing this and looking at me at the trunk. And I said, do you want the trunk open? And she kind of smiles and points to the trunk. So I opened the trunk, and she's trying to pull the tire out of the trunk. And she can't get it out of the trunk. So she goes over to the side of the car, and she's trying to pull the tire off of the side of the car. And then she goes back to the trunk, and she gets the wrench out, and she's trying to use the wrench to take the tire off the side of my car. So I went and got the video camera. Fortunately, I had the video camera. It's very hard to have a video camera this big that's portable and tape as a graduate student right there when your chimp is taking the tire off. But I had the camera. So I filmed this, and Lucy went on working with this tire for about an hour. And finally she just gave up and said, I can't do it. And mostly I just filmed Lucy for a long period of time. And then when I talked to Lucy's mother, Jane Timmerlin, later, I said, why would Lucy be doing this? Did you try to show her how to change a tire? Is somebody teaching her this? Why does she want to change my tire? And she said, oh, that was last Sunday. We were going someplace, and one of the friends was in the car with us, and we were riding, and we had a flat tire. And we had to get out on this really busy road and change it. And Maury was afraid that Lucy would get hit, so he made Lucy stay in the car. and Lucy couldn't get out and help everybody else change the tire, so she just watched us, and I guess she just wants to learn how to do it. So I'm watching all of this while, 10 or 15 years later, psychologists are saying apes have no ability to imitate. Like, there's something really wrong here. There's something wrong in the whole progression of science. I'd already shown tape to Mike Tomasello of apes imitating everything. And he knew that apes can imitate, and he's publishing a paper saying they can't because he did some study in some small little confines that in that particular study they did not imitate. There's something really wrong. Lucy could imitate almost anything.